do it and be live.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all you Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening, learning, to the Bayash Debadad, the house of David. All right. This is Men of Valor Las Vegas camp. But through the Spirit, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right. So just through the Spirit, we're going to talk about the 12 tribes. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Seminole Indians, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Mexicans, all right, Uruguay to Paraguay, all right, you are the chosen people of the Most High, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ, all right, or Jehovah, or Caesar Christo, all right? You are the chosen people, all right? You're not black, you're not Mexican, you're not El Salvadorian, all right? You are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, all right? And we'll back it up in scripture. Yeah, come.
This is book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 1. It says, "Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. And all the souls came out of the loins of Jacob, or 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already."
So all those souls came out of the loins of Jacob, all right? Which he was surnamed Israel, all right? By the Most High, all right? So his surname is Israel. That's where you get the Israel from. And matter of fact, we'll go ahead and back that up. I got it. Okay.
Book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 28. And it reads, "And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men, and has prevailed."
All right. So our forefathers, all right, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had the lineage through him with all these tribes. Tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. All right. You are the chosen people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. All right. He's not here for anybody else, no other nation. Salvation is not for anybody else. It only belongs to you. All right. And it's important that you know that. All right. Because the Most High has a people. All right. And we are his people. And we're going to back that up. Matter of fact, you already got it.
This is book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, verse 27. "And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all."
So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai gave us a law that is approved of all, which you know as the so-called 10 commandments. Even though there's more than 10 commandments, there's 613 commandments, all right? But not eating shrimp, pork, lobster, all right? Those are commandments that were given unto Israel. We have the covenant, all right? Go ahead and pull covenant. Genesis, or Exodus, sorry. 19. Uh, 19 started at 3.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 3. It says, and Moses went up unto the Most High, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel.
God, tell the children of Israel, all right, that we had a covenant with the Most High, all right? And that covenant is for the nation of Israel. It's not for anybody else. Doesn't matter what other nation you're from. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is only dealing with his people, who the world ignorantly calls God or Jesus Christ.
The seed through your father's line got to go back to one of these tribes in Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
God.
And this is verse 4. It says, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians and how I bear you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself.
God, the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai said he brought us unto himself because we're a special people. All right. He wanted to possess us alone and put us above all nations. Go ahead, continue to read.
Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
God, a peculiar treasure above all people. All right. That means above the so-called white man, above the so-called Chinese man, so-called Japanese man, so-called Arab man. All right. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai placed us above all people. All right. So salvation is not for everybody. Got something? Pulling it? God.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises.
God. So who are Israelites? Pertaining the adoption. All right. The adoption. So it doesn't matter what other nation you are from. It is all about the nation of Israel. Okay.
Verse 5 says, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen.
All right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said, bless the nation of Israel. All right. Because the only people that he cares about, once again, is the nation of Israel. Matter of fact, go to Amos 3.
The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1, it says, hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So all the families of the earth, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are, if your father's line does not go back to these tribes or these so-called bywords right here, you are not part of the nation of Israel, and salvation is not for you. All right. So all your worship is vain. Whether you bow down to whatever God you bow down to is a false idol. All right. Whatever God you choose to bow down to is a false idol set up. God.
Continuing on, says, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
God. So we went off as a nation. Being that we went off as a nation, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who the world English calls God in Jesus Christ, all right, he punished us. He punished us as a people, all right, a whole entire people. He punished us for breaking those laws, statutes, and commandments. Pull Deuteronomy.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 36. It says, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other powers, wood and stone.
So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said he bring us into another nation that we wouldn't know, all right, that we would serve other powers, all right, made of wood and stone, all right. So you so-called Christians, you bow yourself down to the cross. You Muslims, you travel around the Mecca, all right, the rock in Mecca, all right. We are the nation of Israel through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right. So we worship the power. Every other God that you serve is a false idol.
Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said you should be a byword amongst all the nations, all right? Because we went off from our power, not understanding, all right? We lacked that understanding and that fear for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right? So we were punished for it, all right?
That's proof to know that we are actually these people that this sign points out to, because who else is having who else is going through it, and who else was put into a place other than their land right now. Some might have migrated to other lands, but they weren't forced to do so.
God.
You know, when Gad came over here, this America was an unknown territory.
God.
You know, contrary to what you know, Columbus was saying that he was doing.
God.
You know, they came in here and it was complete wilderness. You know, kind of like how they went into Exodus, into the wilderness in Exodus.
God. So, you know, it's all about Israel. You know, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, even goes on to say in Amos, all right, Amos 5 and 4, Salakia, Amos 5 and 4, for thus saith Yahweh unto the house of Israel, seek ye me, and ye shall live. All right, but we didn't seek after Yahweh Bashim Yahushai because we disobeyed those law, statutes, and commandments. Once we disobeyed that, the law, statutes, and commandments, he told us that we would go into captivity. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 15, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
God.
You know, and that's what's happening now. You know, we're still taking, no matter how good life seems for you, Jake, you know, we're still taking part of these curses throughout the day. You know, brothers are still getting you know, child custody, taking care of their situations. Brothers still going through it with in multiple cases.
God.
You know, whether it's just having a bad car day,
being vexed by the heathens.
You know, and you know, understanding the reasons why you're going through it, you know, kind of shed some light. You know, and that's why it's important that we call all you guys back to our nation, back to repentance, because that's the only way we're gonna get, you know, it's the restoration of our power, where we could truly be, you know, the princes of power that we are.
That we could be Yasharella, you know, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai put his name on us. Salakia.
That's something.
Matter of fact, pull Isaiah 2 and 4. For this kid that was dancing in the camera.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 4. It reads, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
God. So you other nations are not going to know war anymore. All right. I know I jumped ahead. Salakia, I know I jumped ahead, but Salakia, these other nations, all right, these other nations are not going to know war anymore. All right. So if the Bible is telling you you're not going to know war, obviously you don't have the authority or don't have the power on your side. All right. Matter of fact, get Psalms 2.
You know, said 2 and what?
Yeah, Khan.
And you know, these before, you know, during the Old Testament times, we would be going up multitudes of armies that were like that were strong. By the looks, they were stronger, and they had a lot more people in their army. And you know, through the faith and the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that's how we overcame them.
Yeah.
You know, and just like they had fear to go against us, even though we were a smaller group, even though our army was less than half their size. You know, this is a book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "Why the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing."
God, why do these heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? All right. As this dude's rolling by with the American flag, all right, and then you got this little kid that was dancing, scoffing in the background. All right, these heathens imagine a vain thing. They imagine that they are better than the Israelites. All right, as if they have a power. All right.
China thinking that they can build their army up so they could take over after America goes down. You know, you got you know, all these countries, you know, North Korea, Russia, Iran, they all think that they can overtake, you know, America, who is, as of right now, in that position of power, that in that power seat that everybody wants.
God.
You know, but that's their vanity, that's their belief in vanity, because that's not going to happen. You know,
You get Proverbs 1:22.
kind of want me to keep on going?
Yes, keep on going on that. But
This is Psalms 2 and verse 2. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
God. So all these other nations are confederate. All right. All these other nations got together and said, let us break their bands. All right. Because these other nations know who we are. All right. You go anywhere in the world, they know who the true children of Israel are.
Those true children of Israel, you know, throughout the world, they're still in captivity right now.
God.
You know, they're under a ruler, you know, just like how there's Jake out in China, you know, but they're the lowest of the low right now.
God.
You know, I don't know, I forgot the group of people that
the Uyghurs.
You know, and they're pretty much how in a society with like less of everything, just like how, you know, you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes are in America.
God, and the Uyghurs are serving stone. All right. Now there's definitely some speckled bird amongst every nation. All right, amongst all the heathen nations, you so-called Chinese, so-called white people, Edom. All right, so-called Arab. All right, because whereas the speckled bird, all right, we have been in captivity in all these nations. Everybody has had a hand in the downfall of Israel.
That's why the Most High is going to reward you for that. Because even if you didn't take part of it this lifetime, you know, you were a part of it and you benefited off of the downfall of our people.
God, and you heathens still benefit. You still benefit. Go to the barrios, all right? Go to the ghettos, you know, the slums, anywhere you want, especially in America, all right? You got all these people coming from outside the country that can get a business loan and sub authority over you, all right?
You know, you got the Arabs, you know, posting up their liquor stores on the corner, you know, same with the Chinese, you know, but in their in little Chinatown, you know, you don't see the same thing, you know, but in what was that, Boys in the Hood, you know,
yeah,
but
no, Menace to Society.
Wasn't Boys in the Hood?
Oh yeah, true. God,
you know, when the dad was making that speech, and what's his name?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was making that speech, but it was true, you know. But that don't only apply to you know, to the so-called black man, you know,
the so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans. All right,
and you know, y'all so ignorant and arrogant in this society that you don't believe that you're a part of this.
God.
And you know, when you hear the Most High's name, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know, most of y'all, 2/3 is like, that ain't my God. That's not my Jesus Christ. You know, that's your guys' first thought.
God. Matter of fact, I got a precept. Hold on. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 5. Why should you break, Slakia? Why should you be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. All right? The whole head is sick. Israel as a nation is sick. All right? The whole heart is faint. Your mind. All right? Our people are fucked up in the mind. All right? Through slavery, it's a Stockholm syndrome. All right? Continuously. Generation after generation after generation.
There was a time where, you know, it's not so much more today, but it's still mental slavery. That you know, there's a time that you know, the black man was afraid to speak to a white man in public. You know, because they were afraid if they even got caught speaking, you know, what would happen? You know, Emmett Till.
It's that Willie Lynch mentality.
You know, he whistled at at a girl and got beat to death brutally. You
God,
know, and y'all gonna pay for that too.
it's that whole Willie Lynch, all right, mentality, that that indoctrination, all right. And if you don't believe it, look up the Willie Lynch letter, all right. It tells you exactly how to break a slave, all right.
I got this back in Psalms.
God,
Psalms chapter 2, to verse 3. It says, I'm gonna start back at 2. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together. You know, so the kings of the earth are setting themselves up. You know, you got these presidents who sets themselves up, the country. You know, it's a so-called democracy, even though, you know, they know how to sway the tide of the vote. As you could see, that's what all the controversy with this last election was.
that's the election before it. Why?
And
Because
the election before, you know, you had Trump,
Trump,
and you know that's just karma. You know, that's what so-called karma is, because you got the same thing that happened that Trump did.
Hillary won the vote, but lost the presidency.
Right, but you know he had his hand in that election too. You know, they had said that, you know, Russia, you know, his involvement with Russia, the Russian government, you know, that he was able to manipulate and add more votes to his. But then look what happened when Biden did the same thing to him. You know, it was a problem, and he spoke out against it, because that was him trying to set himself up as a ruler.
That's because, you know, and that's due to you 2/3 Jakes and all you other heathen nations. All right, you other heathen nations are going into captivity.
And whether you like it or not,
you know,
you can call us what you like. Let me continue on this. It says against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away the cords from us. You know, so them breaking the bands, you know, they're trying to break the ties that we have to the Most High. And how did they do that?
God, they cast us off, and they try to break those ties by falsely accusing us. All right, having us go off day and night, whether it be eat abominable foods, hide pork, hide shrimp, hide lobster, or any unclean food, and the food that we're eating. You know, the air that we're breathing, the water that we're drinking.
Like to so-called Muslims, you know, there's pork in your hot Cheetos.
There's pork in your hot Cheetos. There's pork in your toothpaste. Pork in your lotion. Pork in your soap.
Right. They have pork in pretty much every product.
God.
It's a byproduct of pork.
Right. You know.
It's like
you're a byproduct of the wicked.
God, it says he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, Lord shall have them in derision.
God. And so you believe that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to cast his nation off. All right. And then he's sitting there laughing. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is pissed. He's laughing righteously because we went off. Yes. But he's also pissed at you other nations, but more so pissed with his nation. All right. That's why we're in the conditions that we're in, from being hard-headed, stiff-necked people, from being fucking heathens like you other nations. All right, for following after your fucking false idols.
You know, and mostly we were forced to do so, but you know, it's mostly our fault at the same time, because we didn't make that stand. You know, it's that's that. You know, it's better to die on your feet than on your knees. You know, we chose to take the easy way out. You know, instead of standing up for what we knew when we were for what we knew was right. You know, that's part of the reason why we're in this captivity today.
And that's why Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, our power, our Father, the power of Israel, is whooping our ass as a father does a child. All right. Fucking devils. Proverbs 1:22.
With the Proverbs chapter 1, verse 22, it says, how long, ye simple ones, will love simplicity?
God, how long will you love simplicity, Jake? How long will you believe that this can't be you? How long will you continue to eat shrimp, pork, lobster, fucking ferret, goat, not goat, rabbit, frog?
Let's take the easy road out. You know, like this in a carnal sense, you know, Jake is comfortable with working a 9 to 5, you know, but you know, to be financially wealthy in this world, what do you got to do? You got to make sacrifices, and you got to build something on your own. You know, it's more complicated. That's the way that this system is set up. You know, you got to do a different kind of taxes. You know, you got other things that go into it. Running a business isn't easy unless you were given the blueprint from the jump, which most of these other heathen nations, you know, they already got the blueprint to that because the system is set up for them to thrive.
They ain't even got to have the blueprint. They can come over here and Esau Edom will hand them a fresh layout, They can start any fucking business they want to.
How you saying more of our people, you know, they're starting to come up financially in this world, you know, and that's how we know that, you know, it's about to be on its way out, you know, because the only reason why Jake getting money right now is because the system about to crash. You know, you got the U.S. dollar about to go crypto because it's on its way out. You know, they're about to put that great reset that they like to call it into play.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways. All right? So don't envy this white man or these other nations. All right? Whether it be Arabs, whether it be Africans, all right? It doesn't matter who it is, whether it be the Chinese, all right? All because they got a little paper in their pocket. These promissory fucking notes.
That's why a lot of our women go with men of different nations, you know, because they see them as a financially stable. You know, they see them, you know, they see them in the position of power that they are in, and they flock to it. You know, but pretty soon, you know, they're gonna realize that was a bad decision that they made. You know, because when them chariots come and they're not getting beamed up with the rest of their nation, you know, the 1/3 of the elect, you know, they're gonna be like, oh shit, I chose the wrong side, and you're choosing to deal with the oppressor, you know. You know, and it's easy for you to do that because they simps. You know, they give you whatever you want and treat you how you like. You get to wear the pants in the relationship.
And you're not supposed to be wearing pants. That's why your ass is supposed to be in a dress. All right? That's why Yahweh Yahushua made sure that he made a difference between the man and the woman. The woman is the weaker vessel under the man. And all other nations know that. All right? You go over to Africa, you go over to China, you know, you see the difference between other nations. You go over to Middle East, all right? Their women know that they're women.
You know, where did they get that order from? You know, it all came from the Most High and the nation of Israel first, because they didn't have morals before the 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments were given to who? The nation of Israel alone. You know, they stole our customs, you know, picked and choose what they liked out of it, and tried to set themselves up like they were really us.
No, they made their culture. That's how they made their cultures. All right, the differences in their cultures.
You always got, no matter what religion you go to, you always got a son. You know, a lot of times you got that same word. Yeah, these other nations, you know, where they got their order and power Ten Commandments. You know, they would have no morals. You know, a lot of them still don't have morals.
Oh,
You know, their morality is different. That's why you know, when we go into the kingdom, every nation is going to be on one accord with the Most High. You know, they're not going to have another choice to do freely as they will. They won't be sacrificing to other idols.
God, that Alex or Carly spirit, do it as thy will be gone and done away with. All right, these women will be quiet. All right, and know their order. All right, you simple ass men too. All right, everybody and everything will be in its rightful place in its rightful order.
And they're not going to have that spirit, like you said, it's not going to be on them to do that. You know, they're not going to try to go off no more. You know, or the people of our nation.
God.
You know. Let me grab 2 and what, or 1 and 22. Let me get back to it. Book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
Right. So these fools hate knowledge. 2/3 of our own people, all right, hate the knowledge and the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Pick up the book as if it got some money in it, you know?
If it got some money or if it got some females, all right, how to get a female, how to make $1 million in 2 weeks, you know?
Into
their lust.
And their self worship, you know, their elevation of their self, you know, that's all that they worried about. This is a prideful spirit that that's going on in this world right now. You know, it's all about me, fuck everybody else. You know, I did it all by myself to get to the top.
Gone.
You know, and I ain't need no help from nobody else. Nobody else helped me get into the position that I was.
No.
You know, y'all say y'all thank. First and foremost, every award show, you know, shout out to God and my mama. You know,
hey.
Your mama did more than so-called God did, because he most likely wasn't dealing with you.
God.
You know, unless he was looking out for you.
God.
You know, that's not my place to say, but
hey, yeah, how about Shimi Yahushai is not a respecter of persons. All right, actually continue on that right quick. Continue on that.
Verse 23, it says, turn at my reproof. Always happens. Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you.
So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is calling out. All right, he's calling out first and foremost the elect of Israel, the 144,000 elect men. All right, and the multitude of the 1/3, the women and children and men, the friends of the prophets. All right, not everybody's going to be a prophet. You might be a help unto a prophet. All right,
might be the brother that put another member of the elect on this truth, you know, and wake him up.
You might be an evangelist. All right, just giving a testimony.
All
right, and waking somebody up.
I'm like Jake down in Florida.
You
know, he just called. He held at gunpoint, you know, and he called on the true name of the Most High.
Right.
See, these other names don't grant you that same salvation that the true name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai does. You know, let me grab that real quick. Next. This is going to be the book of Acts, chapter 4, in verse 12. It says, neither is the salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
So there is no other name that you can be saved by. Not Allah, not Krishnan, not Buddha, not whatever in the fuck your stupid idols' names are. All right.
That's besides the point, though.
Not Jesus Christ. All right. The only name you can be saved by is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and you have to be of the bloodline. Your father's line has to go back to the 12 tribes.
A lot of you Christians and Catholics, how shall I return? You're gonna see it as a threat, and you're not even gonna be able to recognize him because your whole image of him is deceived.
Hey, I'm gonna read 24.
Yeah.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 24. Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
That was the verse before that he turned at my reproof. So he tried to. This is him using the prophets. I brought to be those men.
God.
That's as his mouthpiece. And warning y'all. The time is coming that Yahweh Shai is going to return. You guys need to get right with the law, statutes, and commandments that he gave you to follow. Or else you're going to get caught up in that lake of fire. And that's it. He tried. This is him using this to warn you guys. And you could take it light. You could take it. Think this is a game, or we just out here doing it for no reason.
Right, for no reason out here to be a fool.
Yeah.
But we will make our fool for you. How about Shimmy Shai say? All right. Matter of fact, let me jump back to this is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. The fear of Yahweh by Shimmy Shai is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right.
All right, because you know it all. All right, Jake, you know it all. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You think you know every damn thing. You're quick to follow after these other fucking nations, all right? But you won't follow somebody, you won't follow the man, all right? The men of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
You saw say jump, you jump.
Con.
Hesitation. When if I told you to duck because a bullet was coming, you let it shoot you right in the head. Because you lack the wisdom. You think that we out here just talking. And this ain't us talking. We're doing this in the spirit and for the body of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider.
Even the beasts or the animals of this world, know how to follow instruction and know how to get back home. Hey, a cat, can go astray for many days, but it knows how to get back to that house when it's hungry. The people of our nation, they lost. They don't know where to go. And when we try to direct you, it's hard for you to follow instructions.
Let me get this right quick. So Yahweh Shimmy Shai hates these other nations, whether you're Arab, whether you're Afghanistan, whether you're Chinese or whatever. You're going into slavery and captivity. All right, one and the same. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. All right. So Yahweh Shimmy Shai is going to put you little scoffing ass nations, all right, whether it be man, woman, or child, and put you to fucking death or put you into slavery. It doesn't matter if you're a little girl, doesn't matter if you're a little boy, doesn't matter if you're old, young, a baby. Yahweh Shimmy Shai is going to slaughter your ass.
It's going to be righteous too.
Yes, look.
Because the spirit has it on them in the background to do that.
God.
I'm pretty much assuming that they're from the Middle Eastern, maybe Palestinian or Israel, but those other nations that you know, they're prideful right now because they think that they're the children of the Most High when they're not. You know, and that's their the pride in them. You know, what's going to be made out of pride is going to be brought low. You know, from Esau on down to the 2/3. You know, all the pride when Yahweh Shai come back, you know, that's going to be gone because they're going to really know their place. It's going to humble them. You know, and when they find out that they're not the people that they assume themselves to be, you know, they really gonna be starstruck. You know.
As a matter of fact, if you pull Isaiah 13 and start at 13, and just read down to 15, and I just gotta. No. Nope. I ain't even drinking. So this little bastard, this little fucking heathen.
They're gonna sit there quiet and not say nothing, as they should. You had Little Brad dancing in the background. He ain't gonna be dancing when one of them missiles come and fuck up his whole family. And he got to starve to death.
God.
You know?
Yeah, how Hashem Yahushua is gonna say something special for his little ass. Go ahead.
I got a precept in my mind too. It said 13 and
God. 13 and 13.
Because that's the last thing you want to do is you know, fuck with the men that are doing this work. You know, Abaratazar, we be damned. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13 says, "Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger."
So Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls God, or Jesus Christ, or Allah, or Krishnan, or whatever abominable name, title that you want to give the Most High, all right? He has a judgment for you, all right? He has a judgment for the whole earth, whether it be righteous in your eyes or not. But of you other heathen nations, listen to what Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to give you.
Verse 14, it says, "And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up."
Shall be as a chased roe and a sheep that no man taketh up. You're undesirable. Go ahead, continue.
They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone unto his own land.
So every man shall turn to their own people. So race riots are going to happen. Everybody wants to come out. All right. Whether you belong to Esau, Edom, whether you're Arab or whatever, Palestinian, doesn't matter. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, either going to return to your own land and your people, or you're going to be destroyed.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. All right? Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to run through you. Go ahead, continue.
Everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
All right, so if you're confederate with these other nations, all right, you wanna pray to their gods and uphold their laws and be with them and be on one accord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has something special for you.
God.
And your children. Go ahead, continue to read.
That goes for, you know, as I said, everybody that's involved with it, everybody that has a hand in their wickedness.
Whether it be man, woman, child.
Everybody that was, you know, and saying so before, you know, through reincarnation, you benefited from it previously, and you're probably a part of it beforehand, you know, in your past life.
Whether it be your grandma, whether it be your grandpa, whether it be the baby that's in the womb.
It says, verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces.
Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to fuck your children up for being little scoffing ass. Look, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua does not care. He's not a respecter of persons, man, woman, or child.
God, it's gonna be, you know, he's coming with. It's gonna be a terrible day in the Lord, you know, in the eyes of people, you know. There's gonna be mass destruction going on.
Go ahead, continue.
You know? says, their children also shall be dashed into pieces.
Matter of fact, start that verse all the way from the top again.
That was the top.
I'm so bothered right now.
You know, it's going to be a serious matter, though, and serious times that we're going into, you know, when this happens. You know, everyone, this is verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Everyone shall fall by the sword. He didn't say some. He didn't say one. He didn't say two. He said everyone. Everyone.
Hey, and this should bring that fear, you know, to get back right. If you're a part of this nation, you know, this ain't gonna be nothing light in the day. Yeah, you guys want to think that this, the Bible doesn't come true.
Right. You think it's just a book, a bestseller for all these hundreds and thousands of years that it's just a bestseller. All right.
Hey, because the scoffers back in the day were saying, you know, that the Lord wasn't going to come back, or the Lord wasn't going to come, you know, and they were scoffing at the prophets back then. Verse 16, it says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. All right. That's not only you heathen nations, all right, but also 2/3 of our own people. That goes to show you Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is just. He is a just power. All right. Get 83. Psalms 83. No, this, you know, I'm just bothered right now. Take off my belt.
Book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 11, it says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto the Most High, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciences. You know, we try and get this to your brain that, you know, when this day that we're speaking about comes, you know, it's going to be a serious and dreadful day if you're not getting yourself right now. You know, this is the closing window of opportunity. You know, it's getting smaller day by day because through the signs and times, we know that the Lord's, you know, is getting closer to coming back.
The King's returning. The King is returning. You know, and this is just to show you all these nations that are confederate against us. All right. And their biblical names: Persia, Russia. All right.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh.
So we're praying to our power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to not to not keep his silence. All right, to not hold his peace. All right, that our affliction is up. We're praying to get out of the hell that we're in, because hell is a condition. All right, and this is our hell, and this is Esau, Edom, especially heaven.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee have lifted up the head, have made a tumult. All right, have made a mockery out of us.
You know, they heard Esau say something. They said, "What?" You know, they perked their attention. Let us get on with what they gonna do. Verse 3: they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They took crafty counsel against thy people. All right, the people of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians. Semio Indians, the Argentinians, the Chile, Colombian, the Uruguay, and the Mexicans. All right.
And how they hide us? They get us through oppression and giving us these bywords, to think that we weren't who we really were.
God.
Verse 4 says, "They have said, 'Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.'"
So they said, "Come and let us cut them off for being a nation." All right, because they didn't want to be under the nation of Israel anymore. They think that their life is going to be better and has been better without the nation of Israel ruling over them.
It has been for the meantime, but when this restoration process happens, what's going to be a 1,000 years to them?
It's righteous. It's better to them in a wicked sense. All right, because the whole world is in that Aleister Crowley "do as thy will" spirit. All right, where you can do what you want, you can say what you want, you don't have to act a certain way, you can dress any way that you want to, talk how you want to.
Yeah, your kids running around wild and shit.
Con.
Your kids don't respect you. That ain't gonna happen in the kingdom, because we're gonna go back to the old ways,
Con.
We're gonna go back to being righteous. What happened if a kid got out of line back in the day?
Stoned.
They got stoned to death.
If he was disobedient, if he was a little badass Ray, all right, talking back, getting drunk and everything,
they would take it to the elders, and if he didn't listen, hey, that was your last chance, Mr. Postman. You're gonna have verse 5 says, "For they have consulted together with one consent; they are confederate against thee."
So you other nations are confederate, all right? All you other nations, China, Japan, all right? All Arabs, Palestinian, all right? All you other heathen nations. I got one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. Slakia, chapter 14, verse 13. And it reads, "For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights." Slakia. Above the highest of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. All right. And that's chiefly with this Esau Edom. All right. The so-called white man. That's what his chief idea is. Then comes all these other nations. All right. And you can see that their pride and their haughtiness is that high, because why do the heathen imagine a vain thing? All right. Psalms chapter 2. Verse 1. All these heathens imagine that they are going to take the place of Israel. All right? As if Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is dealing with any other nation.
They try to they want to exalt themselves as the Most High. And how are they doing that? They're putting satellites up in the sky. They're trying to put themselves into power, keep themselves in the power with the little time that they have left.
All this technology. That's why you got cameras, you got cameras and everything on every corner in every building, just like the all-seeing owl. That's why they worship the owl in that Bohemian Grove. All right? So they can continuously watch, even in the dark. All right? But hey, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1, "For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob." All right? So the strangers are going to join with us. And those strangers being the Gentile foreigners, all right? And the other strangers that are going to join with us are going to be what? Captives, are going to be service. They're going to be slaves, men, women, and children of other nations. All right? For you will be the bondmen and bondwomen. Let me get this. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. All right? So all you other fucking nations are going into captivity. Servants and handmaids. Go ahead.
It's gonna be a part of your reward. You know, after the destruction comes, that's what you guys got to look forward to.
Hey,
you know?
Esau Edom has 1,000 years in captivity, and then he'll be done away with.
So hey, it looks a lot better for the rest of you heathens.
But all you other heathens are still going to be in captivity, and you're going to rejoice. For how long? An eternity.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra 14:35. It says, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." You know? So that's twofold. You know, you got the elect, you know, getting back into the position that they were rightfully given, you know, being judges on the earth. And you got the ungodly, you know, the workers of iniquity. You know, y'all gonna get, so the you know, Esau, other heathen nations that were confederate, and the 2/3, you know, that was going off, you know, they're gonna get their judgment after death, you know, because the 2/3 of our nation are gonna be saved. They'll still get to enter into the kingdom and still have a position of power over you know, the greatest heathen nation, you know, but you know, they got to live with the that shame of not listening, you know, and going off when they try to get when the Most High try to reprove you, you know, as it said back in the book of Isaiah, you know, verse 36 says, I ain't gonna get that.
God. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 25 and verse 7. And it reads, "And he will destroy in the mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to destroy, all right, this utopia that you see, all right, the pride the pride of being Confederate.
That veil gets lifted up. It's like you're gonna be able to truly see. You know, everybody's gonna truly wake up and know the truth.
God,
you know, that veil is gonna. Right now, it's pretty much the veil of Babylon. You know, it's Babylon's veil over this whole nation, thinking, you know, this is exactly how the world's supposed to be, and this is, you know, everything working out
just this plan.
And it's how everything, you know, it's that Aleister Crowley spirit, but it's that spirit that America has lied to, you know, everybody in the world, you know, saying that this is the greatest country, and that, you know, you could come here and as long as you got the hustle, you know, you could become what you want. You know, that's the pride of America. That's why you got all these other people and countries trying to come in, you know, and get a piece of this so-called sovereignty, you know, when it's really not that. You know, what did Kamala Harris just say about the people she just deported? You know, y'all could look it up.
God.
And, what you playing right now?
Stalker.
You don't got nothing on that.
Oh, you can get it.
This is a part of that judgment. You know, this is what I believe Yahweh Shai said. This is Book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse and verse 6 says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea."
God.
You know, that's the comparison about the wrath he's about to bring back to this world. You know, predominantly, you know, America, aka Babylon. You know, is gonna get destroyed. You know,
God.
and you know that's the judgment for everybody that goes against the prophets. You know, that goes against the little ones. You know, the children of Israel. You know, you know, so if you had a hand in this destruction of our nation, and in the, you know, bringing, even though we're supposed to go through we're gold tried in the fire, you know, even though we're supposed to bear that same cross that Yahweh Shai did, you know, he's going to righteously punish and reward the people that extended their arm to us, you know.
God. Hey, what you got? Any on that?
Verse 7, it says, "Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to the man by whom the offense cometh."
God.
No?
Woe unto the world for their offenses.
God.
All right? God.
Verse 8 says, "Wherefore if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee." Go ahead.
If thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cast them off. All right? Yahweh Shem Shai said, do away with it if you be offended from it.
Hey, that's that balance. No, that's that balance. You know, you cut us off from the bands asunder, you know, and this is that reward, you know, but it's the perfect balance to bring the world back in order, you know. Back in verse 8 says, "It is better for thee to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or feet to be cast into everlasting fires."
Yahweh Shem Shai said, come with one leg, one eye, and one hand. It's better than to be cast in the lake of fire, to die that second death.
How did Yahweh go? You know, he was made, you know, and that was kind of a foreshadowing to that.
God.
You know, even his son had to go up, you know, with holes in his hands and feet, you know.
God, Yahweh Shai wasn't spared. He died for the nation of Israel. All right? Ultimately, for the whole nation of Israel, but first and foremost for the elect of Israel. You know? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai deemed it necessary as a perfect sacrifice. For who? His people.
Hey, that's the destruction. So if the Most High is telling you, you know, that it's better to go through these, you know, these chastisements, being, you know,
being
maimed, you know, your arms being cut off, you know, you might have no legs, you know, but it's better to go into heaven like that, you know, knowing, Jake, that you're gonna have you're gonna get a new body when you go up.
God, read the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and 7.
But when you you know, for example, you know, I had an uncle who he was paraplegic, you know, and that was his judgment, you know, because he was going off back in the days that happened. But you know, what did he do with the rest of his life? You know, he lived in wickedness.
God.
You know, so because something happened to him, he pretty much said, "Fuck you." You know, this was my life. You know, well, he was saying, "Woe is me," in a different way. You know, he was he was crying out, why did this happen to me? Because he didn't have this understanding. It says the book of Isaiah, wisdom and knowledge be the stability of thy times. He didn't have that understanding, so he said, fuck it. I'm just going to continue to live wickedly. And then, now I'm pretty sure, he's shamed for that. He's living that shame in his life.
Oh.
But it's better, to still get right with the Lord, because the better things to come. That's what we're here to do, is bring that good news. Yeah, we living in a hell right now. We living in captivity, whether you like to see it or not. But there's better things to come.
God.
So what are you going to do to be a part of this?
God. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 15. And it reads, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? All right. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said, hey, woe unto all you, all right, for the counsel, for trying to hide those wicked deeds that you're doing, the counsel and everything. All right. Whether it be making us go off through food, through music, through clothes or whatever, whatnot. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said, woe unto you. All right. Con. and hiding the counsel. All right. Verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down, all right, shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. All right. Because what is that? Above and below is some witchcraft. Above and below.
So above as below.
Yeah, so above as below.
That was actually a pretty good scary movie too. But there was a lot of demonic images in that movie. They were in the I believe it's called the cataracts. What they got in France. It's like they're built. A lot of Paris, I believe, is built on top of bombs.
Like the crypts. I forget what they're called.
But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It kind of sounds like it's not cataracts. It's but where Paris is built on top of, there's a lot of under their their sewer systems and everything were once like graveyards, pretty much. And there's in that movie, there's these secret. There's like a secret place that they're trying to get to, but it's pretty much everybody who's living down there is a devil worshiper, and they're partaking in that witchcraft, and they get into something that obviously they didn't think it was that big of a deal when they first tried,
I'm gonna go ahead and continue. For shall the work say, Slakia, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing formed say of him that formed it, he had no understanding?
How they say that this world was created, they gave you the facade of a big bang, when we really know that the Elohim, starting with Yahweh Shai, created this world with the powers, with their princes of powers. And what else did Genesis say? To make them in our image. God. So being a prince of power, our power is shut off right now because we don't have enough faith.
God.
But those powers will come back to us in due time. Hey, and when it says surely the things this world's upside down, the word Babylon, goes back to Babel, and that means confusion.
God.
And that's where we're in today. America is
confusion.
Is reincarnation of Sodom and Gomorrah, Babylon, though.
Hey, and this is what you just said. This book Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. Verse 6, Slakia. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength, Slakia, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. All right. So understanding where we are, all right, in time, and the things that were written for time were written for our learning.
15 and 4.
All right.
Hey, and our that's gonna be our rock. Yahweh Shai is our rock. And what is Yahweh Shai? Yahweh Shai is the word. You want to put John 1, St. John, and so with that wisdom and understanding, when all this other when chaos is breaking out, and when all hell breaks loose in this Jacob's trouble, as you're starting to see happen, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go protest with these other people, and be caught up in the line of fire, looking like a dumbass going to a fucking BLM protest when you're not even black, and you get shot in the head with a fucking beanbag, and now you unconscious for the rest of your life.
Didn't that BLM lady?
Yeah, and I believe she got shot in the head or something. I didn't keep up with her story, because that's not even supposed to be a woman's life. A woman is not supposed to lead nothing in this world.
God,
that's why that's why that whole movement is so destroyed. Because one of their main objectives is to emasculate the men
of the nation of Israel.
These nations. That's their main objective. And BLM it wasn't even started by a so-called black man, who's profiting off all this bullshit is Esau,
This is the book of St. John, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was power. And Slakia. And the Word was God.
So the Word is power. There's power in this book. That's how you get the power. Referring back to Romans 15 and 4. These things were written for our learning. We're supposed to learn from this and grow into a higher spiritual being. And a more and a true prince of power. These mysteries unlock questions that you've had in your throughout your whole life, of why things work out this way.
The questions that you've had in your spirit since the beginning.
Wow.
All right, because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai put the nation of Israel here for a purpose, and that purpose is to rule over all other nations. All right, to make sure that the law, statutes, and commandments are set forth. All right, that everybody dwells in righteousness and follows the law. All right, not only the nation of Israel, but first and foremost, the nation of Israel. All right, because whether you heathens believe it, like it, forbear it or not, you will keep all the customs of Israel. All right, all of them. Go.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and 16. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." That's what you 2/3 done said. That's what y'all say when y'all don't take ear to these words that we're saying. You're saying that we don't have the right way to go, and it's completely contrary to that. Verse 17, it says, "Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken." That's the stubbornness of this nation. Because you think that you got it all right. Just because you might be have a little bit of bread in your pocket, You know, you might be living a little bit better than the majority of these people, even though you're included. You know, but look, it only takes 10 generations to change the color of a person. You know, from white to black or reverse. You know, so-called white and black. You know, it's really red and brown. You know.
Hey, and just to go to show you that Yahweh Shemi Shai is in control of this all. All right? He controls all of this. And this is playing out for Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, as he wants it. So,
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. It reads, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them."
God, the heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven.
What are the signs of heaven? No, it's the
Coming,
those plagues that are coming back, the
God.
pestilence, you know, the uprising of the people, the rumors of war.
And first and foremost, being woken up, Israel being woken up.
Oh, because that scares Esau, because he knows the time is up. You know, and that's why you know, he's doing what he's doing right now. He's you know, amping things up. You know, so he could try to prolong his stay on top.
God.
You know, what else does he got to do to make the majority of Israel go off? You know, hey, maybe he's gonna set up another lockdown. It's been talked about. He talked about it before the first lockdown even happened.
God.
You know,
He already had it.
before he even was in office, before him and Kamala was in office. You know what they said? Their main objective. So this means their main priority over everything that America has going on right now, out of all the problems that are in this country right now, their main objective was to protect Israel.
God.
And what do you see going on now that they're in office? You know, that war breaking out.
I got to read. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Wherefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because ye knoweth that he haveth but a short time.
So the devil amping things up through his power, you know, to get back to this. You know, he's gonna say he's setting up the stage for that charagma to take place. You know, and to do his best to try to break the bands of the nation of Israel to the Most High. You know, hey, but you know, when we see those things happening day by day in the news, you know, it's really a bad thing for our nation, but it's a good thing for us because we know that those are signs that the Lord's coming back. You know, that those are signs that we're getting closer to Yahweh Shai coming back and cracking those skies on a chariot. You know, and ultimately we'll be saved. That's why it says, "Do not as the heathen." You know, correct your ways, go back to the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave you. You know, but be not dismayed when you start seeing these things going on, because it's a good thing. You know, it means that we're getting closer to getting them new bodies. You know, if you, Lord willing, you a part of the elect.
Or whether we are part of the elect. You know, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, and verse 7. I form the light, I create darkness. I make peace, I create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. All right, so Yahweh Shemi Shai is making it. He's making it where these other nations, all right, are starting to go against each other, wars and rumors of wars. All right, you're seeing the signs in the heavens. All right, this devil coming down with great wrath. That's ultimately Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, Yahweh is amping this thing up so he can go ahead and set this all back in righteousness. All right.
Something in the city.
If there's have there been evil in the city and I have not done it? I think it's 7. All right, so yeah, how about Shimei Awashai? All right, makes light and creates the light and the dark. He controls, the left and the right. So something that you think is evil, yeah, how about Shimei Awashai is doing? Something you think is righteous, yeah, how about Shimei Awashai is doing? Was it? It was right there.
Just look at Amos chapter 3, verse 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?
God.
So the apartment building in Miami falling down, that was the Lord's doing. That was the Lord's will. That was judgment on whoever he had go out in that tragedy.
God. So
and that came out of nowhere. That came out of left field. Then nobody expect that to happen. But then you look at the underlying things of it, and go back to the wickedness of Esau. Because they had structural damage in that building. That was it said back in 2018 there was a report of severe structural damage.
God.
Hey, behold, 3 years later.
Hey, but ultimately Esau Edom knew about it and didn't want to correct it.
Yeah, because they only get, and you know what?
They collected insurance money.
What's that script where they give and it gets replenished? The children of
Psalms Slakia. I think it's
because even though they might have lost an apartment, the dude who owns that apartment probably owns 5 more complexes. And he gonna collect insurance off all that shit. After he pays out everybody. But he ain't gonna go to jail for negligence or nothing like that.
And they ain't even gonna touch what he's getting paid.
Right. They ain't gonna help because the insurance money I'm sure the insurance company though is gonna try to fight him on that.
Right.
But hey, he's still gonna be able to live his beautiful life here on the world, until he gets struck down by his reward, I forgot what I was. See that in Psalms.
It's Psalms 58.
No.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 2. Verse 2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are strayed from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. All right. I mean, that's essentially, it's the wickedness in their mind because they knew about the building 3 years ahead of time. All right. And still did nothing about it. Knowing that they're still paying the insurance on the building to collect the insurance money, but now their tongue is falling upon them. And that they go into speaking lies. All right. How you gonna know as an apartment building owner and then not do anything about it?
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, in verse 10. It says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. So you got, and think about these other foundations, that are set up like Red Cross, FEMA, I'm sure that those Edomites participating in it, You know, they're thinking that they're doing it good out of themselves. You know, and they're giving a contribution to these other countries. But as it says, his children will shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. That means that everything that they give, you know, they getting right back. It's really not coming out. And look how a nonprofit is set up. You know, a nonprofit is set up to where you know, you could pretty much funnel in money and manipulate it to where, you know, you making more money than you giving out. You know, and that's as simple as that. They restore, they giving, but they getting twice as much back. And most of the times, you know, these companies, they taking first class flights, you know, staying up in you know, beautiful hotels when the countries that they helping out, you know, still shit poor, you know, don't got a pot to piss it. But yet it gives them that sense of, oh, I contributed. That's why a lot of y'all the heathen are gonna be dismayed, because they're gonna be like, but God, what happened when I went to Africa and helped out that whole village? Yeah, but y'all stayed up in Dubai, you know, with the fat ass houses and everything.
God. Hey, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 10.
Afterwards, your whole relief fund foundation, or whatever the fuck's going to call it, paid for a whole trip around the world. You know?
For he seeth what wise men, for he seeth that wise men die. Likewise, the fool and the and the brustish person perish and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their land after their own name. All right. And Salakia, I was really 10 that I wanted to read, because that's exactly what you just said. You know, they leave their wealth to generations to come, to think that they're going to continue on. You know, with their hedge fund, so on and so forth.
And read this. This is the book of Obadiah, verse 18. It says, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken." Y'all through after this those 1,000 years of hard labor, he's gonna be through. You know, hey, and in the beginning that says Jacob as the flame, you know, hey, being a part of the elect, we always supposed to be on fire. You know, and the Lord's gonna use that fire to put y'all asses out. You know, he gonna use us when he raise up his elect, you know, men of this nation, you know, Abarat, we beat him, you know, he gonna raise us up, give us spiritual powers. You know, we might do greater things than Yahweh Shai did in his time on the earth, you know, but he gonna raise us up with that power to be a part of that army and to strike down Esau just as he deserves. And this is you got something right now. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. This is going to be chapter 43 and 28. It says, "How shall we be able to magnify him? For he is great above all his works. The Lord is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power." You know, it says he's terrible. You know, because a beautiful thing, for a beautiful thing to happen, you know, the balance of that is that a terrible thing is going to happen. You know, for us to get back into order, and for the order of this world to go back to how it's supposed to be, you know, Esau got to get what's coming to him. America got to go down, you know, through with them ICBM missiles in World War III. You know, all that has to play out so we could get that restoration of power back, and we could be true princes of power, you know, and so we could live and rest and get the rest that we're allotted to, you know.
God. This is the book of Isaiah. Slakia. Slakia.
Yeah,
You got it?
I'm gonna drop down to no, I don't know what you.
No.
Oh, this
No,
is
you got it.
this is Ecclesiasticus 31 and 43 and 31. It says, "Who has seen him that he might tell us?" You know, who's seen him? It was the prophets beforehand. You know, the disciples of Yahushua, they all witnessed miracles that Yahushua did. You know, but y'all don't want to believe him. You know, it says, "And who can magnify him as he is?" You know, no one can magnify him because his true works are make you speechless, and you can never glorify him enough, as it says in verse 30. It says 32, "There are yet hid greater things than these be, for we have seen but a few of his works. For the Lord hath made all things, and to the godly hath he given wisdom." So he gave, you know, the people who seek him out, you know, being the, you know, hopeful elect, you know, and other brothers pushing this truth out, and the Aquath out there, you know, getting themselves right. You know, that's who he gives that wisdom. You know, and you're gonna need that wisdom when the time comes, because a lot of people gonna be running around batshit crazy with their heads cut off, murdering people, eating their children, you know, because they starving, you know, not having faith in the Most High to deliver them out of this captivity and out of these hard times that are gonna be brought upon us. You know, the famine is coming, and you know, it says, it's back in 32. There are yet hid greater things than these be. You know, for we have seen but a few of his works. So you know, the miracles that Yahushua did and the miracles that are continuing to play out, you know, that's on a small scale what is gonna happen. You know, that's nothing compared to when you know, that day that Yahushua comes back on a chariot. You know, book of wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 verse 2. You know, his salvation is strange. You know, y'all not gonna be able to believe without seeing it. You know, about all the terror that's gonna happen to this world. That whole strip right there, you know, is just gonna be completely demolished. You know,
God.
You know, you got, you know, destruction around. You know, there's gonna be fires around the world. Everything's gonna look like in the knowing when that angel came in his room and gave him that little boy that dream. You know, he looked out the window and everything that he could see was just burning up. And you had animals running in the wilderness, burning up. Everything was on fire. That's what the Elohim and Yahushua gonna do to this place. You know, and if you're not a part of the elect, your ass gonna get it too. You know, 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. I know I brought it out before, but knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. You know, it's not that we seek to please you by telling you sweet things like these other doctrines do. No, we here to give it to you straight and raw. You know, words straight out the book, and we back up everything that we say.
Judgment of Babylon.
Judgment of Babylon.
Yeah, it was Isaiah. Slakia.
Yeah, Isaiah 55.
It's like the wind just either I keep on skipping it. Ah!
It's a little windy. It's like, you know, we don't get it to the spirit. You know, but That's gonna be the judgment of Babylon. You know, the judgment. What's the judgment of Babylon?
Here we go.
Guys, that's something else. Is that what I should look at as judgment of Babylon?
Yeah, God. This is. I'll start over here though. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, or chapter 14, verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the side of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the princes, prisoners, all the kings of the nations, even all them, lie in the glory, every one in his own house. All right. So all you other nations lie in the glory of your own house, thinking this wickedness, and that Babylon made the whole earth to tremble. All right. And when that destruction happens from those ICBM missiles, Yahweh Shem Yahushai it is gonna be breaking news. Breaking news on the planet Earth. America is destroyed. Babylon has fallen. You know? God. Yeah. There's that. It was that one I was looking for. Then there was the other one follow up. Sit on many Babylon, or sit on many waters.
Oh, that's I feel that.
God. That's in Rep. We'll go over it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, The burden of Babylon, said, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see.
God.
So, you know, that right there, you know, there was a vision that, you know, Isaiah, he had, and he seen this that's about to happen. You know, it was a prophecy.
Before you continue, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and verse 4. That thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressors chased the golden city chase? All right. So how take go ahead.
How did a proverb?
A byword. You know?
It's not that we're doing it because, you know, we're peaceful men.
God.
You know, until that time comes, you know, we get that in Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, Rashi. Ecclesiastes.
So, you know, there's a time for everything. You know, right now, we're not supposed to we're not out to seek revenge, you know, on our oppressor, you know. But there's going to be a time for it. You know, there's a time and place for everything.
Right.
And there's going to be a time that, you know.
There's a time to plant, a time to sow.
But how did they're going to be saying, how did these people, you know, do this to this great nation? They're going to be saying, crying, how and why? Why and how?
This is book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. Slakia, chapter 3 and verse 1. Slakia. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up.
You know, what's been happening, you know, around the world for the last 30, 40 years, you know, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai planted a seed through his prophets, you know, and his fruits are growing right now, you know. You know, Lord willing, we are part of those first fruits, you know. But that's a part of the of this revelation, you know, that's taking place. You know, the knowledge of his word is getting spread across the four corners, you know, through the mouthpieces of the prophets, you know. And then you know, there's a time to it says time to break down and a time to build. You know, we're building up that nation right now, you know, pertaining to Ezekiel 37. You know, them two candlesticks rejoicing together, northern and southern kingdom. You know?
And yeah, how about Shemi Al-Shai? At the same time, it's simultaneously breaking this place down. All right? Babylon is going down. You see it day in and day out. You see these people being destroyed. You see this place just deteriorating. All right? The dollar is about to crash. All right? They have all these things against all these unrighteous decrees set up more and more and more.
You know, the citizens of this nation, you know, is continually getting worse and worse. You know, speaking as a supervisor at at a big company. You know, when I was in that job position, you know, you could see it continually. You know, that Jake tired of this bullshit. You know, working as a slave in that job, you pretty much were a slave. You know, just to correlate what he's saying, he's breaking this place down because it's what it is. Book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand first held first the heel of Esau." Hey, and that's how you gotta. That's the only way you can into this. You know, it's that bloodline. It's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, verse 9 it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." You know, and we you know, prophesying against Mount Seir. You know, being prophesying against Esau. You know, and day by day, you know, he's getting rattled and he's getting shook by the words that we're saying. That's why he's putting new laws into place, you know, to try to take us out of what we're doing, you know, but it ain't gonna stop. And you know, so the end of Esau, the end of the white man's world, is about to be destroyed. In the beginning, the new world, the kingdom, is when Jacob rises up. You know, and we're gonna have to, and this got to be completed, you know, for that to do so, which is happening right now.
I got it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 2. "It is better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of his countenance in the heart is made bitter." Better. All right? So that's why we're not caught up in this world. And that's why Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai said there's a time for everything. All right? We're in the time of mourning right now. All right? We're mourning for shit like that. There is no reason to have a bike that loud. Just because. All right?
You want to be heard down the street. That's why they got, you know, 415s in their trunk. You know, they got the big speakers always playing some abominable shit. you know, promoting that wickedness that Esau controls all that shit, and he controlled it for what? The downfall of our people, and for us to get caught up, going off.
Dumb.
No, you want to jump back to Ecclesiastes? And John, it's better to mourn. You know why is it better to mourn? Hey, especially for you heathen nations, it's better to be mourning right now. Because when Yahushua comes as a thief in the night, hey, it won't be that much of a surprise. But when you're mourning, you don't expect great things to happen. See, the 2/3 that are doing good right now, they're gonna be dismayed as the heathen going back to Jeremiah 10:2. They're gonna be dismayed. Their heart is going to hurt. When they just pulled up in that Lambo and Elohim come and just zap that motherfucker, burn it to pieces. They ain't gonna have nowhere to run. They can't even drive that fast car no more. Why? And recently I've been seeing a lot more Jakes and Lambo trucks. I don't know if it's just the trend. Y'all got PPP going on. You got the PPP loans popping.
You got the loans popping and souls dropping.
Yeah. Because what y'all doing to still out for that?
God.
And y'all worshiping that mammon. Matthew chapter 10, you can't worship two masters.
God.
Y'all are slave to this dollar bill. Yeah, I like to say, don't let the money make you make the money.
God.
But when that's all you think about, what's the underlying truth in that?
The money is making the man. The man's not making the money.
Because everybody feels a little bit better when they got cheddar in their pocket.
God.
Life's a little bit easier. Hey, it's not supposed to be for us on this side.
God. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and I'm gonna go to verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together.
Hey, we gathering the stones right now.
Con.
Yahushua referred to us as living stones.
Con.
So the gathering of these stones, is bringing back the 12 tribes together. Because we were once at war with each other.
No.
Even 10, 15 years ago, we were at war with each other. You had a big race war out in Southern California. Shit, I didn't know where to go. I couldn't go nowhere, UCLA or Inglewood. But bringing back our people to the truth, and Yahushua using the word to remove that veil, it's bringing us back together in solidarity, back to the rock being Yahushua.
Oh.
That's our foundation.
You got a three right here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 20. Verse 21. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of beast that goeth downward to the earth? And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai knows the spirit of man. All right? He knows the spirit of man and beast, but referring to exactly what we're talking about, he knows the spirit of man. All right? The wickedness of man and the righteousness of man. All right? That's why he gave, and once again, in chapter 3, verses 1 through 10, he's telling you there's a time and there's a season for everything. All right?
When the day comes, there's gonna be a time to kill and a time to destroy this whole place. And on the other side of that, we're gonna kill these other heathen nations that are in along with the wicked doings of our own nations and 2/3, we're gonna heal them and bring them back to the laws, and set them back in order, so they could finally have their own, have that place that they're meant to be, that rest, you know. So, you want me to grab 13 and 2. This is Isaiah chapter 13. I'll start back at 1. It says, "The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift ye a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles."
So lift ye, slack about that bloody nose. Lift ye the banner, all right? So lift the banner. This is the banner upon the high mountain, all right? And the Salakia, in the gates of the nobles, all right? We're not afraid to come out here and tell you other nations, or even you Gettys, you DuPonts, you Rothschilds, you Rockefellers, all right? It doesn't matter who you are. Those are the nobles.
They put themselves in that position of power.
God, the kings of the earth.
They're in the background, doing more wickedness than you could imagine.
God.
Promoting more of that shit than, deceptively. That's what the word devil goes back to diablos in Greek. That's the deceiver.
God.
So they to your face, they're this righteous, God-fearing man.
And women. We're not going to forget about your women of your nation either.
Because down south, the most racist women, they in church every Sunday, They in church every Sunday, with their little white gloves on and shit. Acting like they all pure and holy. Say a couple
Hail Marys.
Hail Marys or Our Fathers for the few black
Baptists
people that
or whatever.
They just had their nephews go hang, and now they scot free. And now they scot free. But that's their ideals, and that's how they contorted these scriptures to their liking. And that's that word adder, back in Psalms 58 and 3, says adder to deaf ears, That word adder is goes back to contortion. They twisters of words. Speech. They twist the speech and manipulate it. How there was a video with Granny Esau, in the
with the nurse.
With the nurse, she on her deathbed talking about, you black people are black because you turned your back to God in the war in heaven. Just completely lost in the fake doctrine.
But they ain't lying. We at war and they heaven. We warring for our spirit. We warring for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. In this white man's heaven, in these other nations' heaven. This is their heaven. All right, because they once again are in that Aleister Crowley, do as thy will.
So self as kings, call yourself white. So you could be pure.
Without blemish.
Without blemish. What is
that? Hey, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 15. Yea, truth fadeth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. We make ourselves a prey telling you this truth. All right?
No, the government got that list, It's not like we striving to be on it, but if it's the Lord's will, and that's our lot, we gonna take it with
take it manfully.
We're gonna take that chastising. We're gonna take that that punishment.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 8. Remember this and show yourselves men.
Show yourselves men in the times, just as that time of judgment, because referring to the second Maccabees, Eleazar, he said, what would my whole life that I just lived, Eleazar was an elder.
God.
What would my whole life be if I took the
turn back now?
If I turn back now against the law, if I lessered myself to even make it seem like I went off,
God.
His whole life would be vain.
To be like these other heathen nations. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that again. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. All right. So bring it to mind. All right. Remember that you are a man or a daughter of Israel. All right. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments set forth for you, Israel, by the Most High.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 41, 10 says, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with a right hand of my righteousness.
Gone. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to uphold his nation, all right, with the right hand of his righteousness. And how's that happening? By turning, brothers up, Abaratazah, Yahushai, first and foremost, sending the Allahayim back. Those chariots, which are known as, what are they? Aerial phenomenons, UFOs. All right.
And, they say that they're giving us information, but it's just going to be, it's prolonged and insufficient, to what the popular demand wants. Because they know if they were to go out and give all the information that they have,
they know that Jake might start waking up on top of it.
Right. And they got their own scheme of things going on to try to emulate it,
Project Bluebeam, all these psyopses that the government has, because they know they have but a short time. Revelation 12 and 12. This chief nation, Esau, Edom, and still confederate with these other nations. All right, even though that they're getting ready to turn on them. All right, essentially is because it's set up. It's set up for this time. Continue on that. What do you want? A couple of, I think we like 2 hours. Yeah, we got 2.
Isaiah 41 and 11 says, Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish.
God, all you other nations shall be as nothing.
Everybody who combated, scoffed, mocked, gave you a tougher time, even if it wasn't when you were on the highways and byways,
God,
like referring back to Matthews, it's better that they jumped in the ocean with a millstone around their neck, because that's going to be an easier death than this fire, because it's going to be going to Malachi 4, chapter 4, the day they get burned as an oven, and what's an oven? An oven is kind of a slow cook.
God.
So you're not just going to go out with a missile and boom,
it's over.
crisp,
Yeah, how about Shimmy Shah? It's going to prolong that burning.
No, this is a slow burn. You're going to be that rotisserie chicken at Walmart, going around
Hey, you're not even gonna be rotisserie chicken because it's lawful.
Rotisserie pork,
Yeah, you're gonna be pork.
pork chop.
That's that pork on the what is it? What do they call it?
Shish kebab.
No, what do they call it? Like the
The things
luau?
that the things that the Hawaiians do.
Yeah, the luau, putting the cooking the pork in the ground, the pig in the ground.
And those elites, if the heat is so hot that the fervent heat will melt
The elements.
the elements therein. Think about them, the kings of the earth that go and try to hide in their bunker. They gonna get burnt up too.
Some of them, but you got others that hey, they're going to be the first fruits of slavery. All right, you Gettys, you DuPonts, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, you know, all y'all elite bankers.
I feel like just speaking as a man, the Lord gonna take y'all up just as y'all is, so y'all could live 1,000 years as an old back hurting, bones aching, have some detrimental illness the whole 1,000 years.
God, hey, your days, just speaking as a man, will be prolonged in that time. And then Yahweh shall take your spirit and quicken you to come right on back.
And 1,000 years with the Lord, one day with the Lord feels like 1,000 years. So shit, y'all got about 1,000,000 years. It's gonna feel like a multiple lifetimes with us.
Hey, yeah, do them double. Roughly paraphrase the scripture.
All right, keep on going on that.
No, I'll go. I'm get this. This is a book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. What dust are they going to sit in? Well, thermonuclear fire. That creates dust. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover the locks, make bare the legs, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. All right, so it's lucky. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to make sure that Babylon, all right, aka America, aka Sodom and Gomorrah, aka Egypt, all right, is a virgin no more. All right, and you might say, oh well, America, we had 9/11, blah blah blah. Nah, man.
But hey, that was
inside job.
It was an inside job, and this is completely out of your control.
Tough.
Y'all controlled that situation. That was a situation of depopulation, and that scare tactic that the elites try to use. Keep making order out of chaos. That's the whole Illuminati's. That's their whole scheme of things. That's how they
in plain sight.
Time. That's how they do their work.
This is chapter or Salakia, verse 3. The nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, the shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. All right, so Yahweh Shai is not coming. Yahweh is not sending Yahweh Shai down as a man anymore. All right, because we know that Yahweh sent Yahweh Shai back as a man to die for the nation of Israel. All right, plus his other past lives and his own sins. All right. Continuing on, verse 4. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right, so that whore is going to burn. She is no longer a lady. She is a whore. She is a ratchet ass whore.
She gonna get kicked out. You know, she gonna get kicked out of the world's fight.
God.
Kicked out from the face of the earth. You know, it says, you know, only beasts going dwell, you know, in America. You know,
God.
only, you know,
No man will pitch their tent. Roughly paraphrasing scripture. I'm gonna continue on.
life.
God. Verse 46. Verse 6. I was wroth with my Slakia. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and gave them into the hands. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. All right. So you other nations here in America, all right, aka Babylon, aka Sodom and Egypt, aka Babylon, aka Sodom and Egypt, aka Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt. I said that backwards. Yeah, I said that backwards. But in this place, you know, this is where you put that yoke and continue to continue that affliction. All right, with rigor and bondage, strenuous work, day in and day out. All right, so you will be judged for that. Thus saith the Bible. All right.
Back to that, Matthew 18.
God.
18:6, you know. So this thing, you know, Esau, then high elite baking families, you know, just go to find your nearest bridge, you know, put a millstone around your neck and jump off, because it's gonna be a lot better death than what you got coming for you.
God, you know, but hey, Alvarado, don't do that. We don't want you to do that either.
God, you know,
it's too easy.
And the Lord gonna preserve anyways.
God,
what y'all done is too much, and you know, he gonna preserve that, just like he did with I believe it was Andrew Jackson, because there was stories, you know, of people going up to Andrew Jackson and shooting him dead face in the dead face with a gun right in front of his face, and him not dying. You know?
God.
You know, so you know, the Lord preserved them for the time to come. So there's no easy way out for you.
And we definitely don't want one for you.
But if you could, you know, that would be the best thing you could do.
Right.
if you're possibly able. You know, yeah, you might get strangled, and then you know, someone comes save you.
God.
You know, the rope that you had around your neck break. You know. But these are, you know, this is the destruction that y'all got coming to.
God.
For the acts that you've committed
against Yahweh Shemi Shai and his people. All right. But with that, you got anything else? All right. We want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. To all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity. To the men, women, and children listening and learning to the Bayah Shadabadat, the house of David. So the next time, Shalom, wa about the ball.